And so it's really like the numbers are staggering. And the people who kind of survive as opposed to like self-destructing, at least in the beginning, I think get really good at compartmentalizing, right? But compartmentalizing, while it can help you with performance for relationships, for friends, for family, it doesn't work very well. You end up being emotionally cauterized. And, the armor that you develop to keep things out keeps a lot of things in, and it keeps a lot of people out. So to answer your question though, things that ended up really having a positive impact would include psychedelic-assisted therapies. So we can talk about that because they're not a panacea. They're not for everyone. And there are real risks depending on the compound that is in question. Brain stimulation, like accelerated TMS. I literally just did another round of accelerated TMS 2 days ago. So we could talk about that. Very fresh. But different types of non-invasive brain stimulation. Incredibly interesting. So microchips over medicine, in a sense. I think bioelectric medicine is one field where I'm paying a lot of attention.
Bioelectric medicine?
Yeah. Yeah. So where can you use stimulation? It doesn't automatically have to be stimulation. It could be something more like ultrasound, but how can you use non-invasive technologies or even an implant to say, change how your brain is firing, or to inhibit or excite a certain part of the brain, or to stimulate the, say, vagus nerve, in some cases related to autoimmune dysfunction or rheumatoid arthritis, for instance. There was a piece on the cover of the New York Times not too long ago about this. How can you use electricity, in effect, to treat issues with fewer side effects than pills or injectables or IV or whatever it might be? So the accelerated TMS specifically, I think is very interesting. There's a protocol called the SAINT protocol. It's been modified in a couple of different ways, but the primary, or one of the best known researchers behind that, unfortunately committed suicide a few months ago. A friend of mine, Nolan Williams, developed a lot of these approaches along with his team. But you see, in some cases, after a week, 70-80% remission of treatment-resistant depression.
Wow. Wow.
With just as much, if not more, durability than psychedelic experiences.
Wow.
So I have a lot of time on the research side, also on the experiential side with psychedelic-assisted therapies, and have taken copious notes for well over a decade on everything, and know a lot of the people who are at the top of that field. And I would say that bioelectric medicine is just as interesting. That has had a huge impact on my life. Very early days, very early. But that is certainly of interest. And then I would say the therapies and tools like morning pages. It's so simple. Morning pages and fear setting. These are not small things, guys. At least not for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like if your life is ruled by fear, because what I realized is, for me personally, in a sense, I was mistreating myself by focusing on the depression. And what I only realized in the last 5 years is that the depression was downstream of other things. I had anxiety, right? Which was maybe out of the box. Like I have family members who make my OCD look like amateur hour. Like they're so over the top. When you combine that with hypervigilance, like your life is ruled by fear and worry. And when you have that as one of your defaults, something like fear setting, something like morning pages is not a small thing.